Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Made a very fast progress.
Yes. Blesses Lord Krishna for
people take years and years and years. All of people, right?
Huh?
I just remember coming in and it just
Yeah, that's true.
fired up.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Wow, I was supposed to get to 57 degrees today. 57 degrees today.
I think 21st
Yep.
was, and talking about the today's was.
No,
He's talking about
the
the
weather.
temperature.
The weather.
The temperature outside.
The temperature, yeah. It's 50.
It's cold, of course,
Yeah, it's kind
because it's the first day of spring. Has to be cold. In New York, it's everything the same. I call it the winter or spring.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Who wrapped this up?
Hare Rama,
No,
Rama
I.
Hare Hare,
I wrapped it up after class and then looked like somebody used it again.
Krishna Hare Hare,
Show me my email.
Hare Rama.
Sorry about that.
Thank you very much. Should I start?
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So let's start with Jai Radha Madhav Nikuñja-bihārī. Jai Radha Madhav Nikuñja-bihārī. Jai Radha Madhav Nikuñja-bihārī. Gopijan Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopijan Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandan Vrajijan Ranjan. Yashodanandan Vrajijan Ranjan. Jamuna Tira वनचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada नमो विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजाचार्य स्तोत्र सदा भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नमाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासिद्धि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। हरे कृष्ण। सो विल बी reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye. Before reciting Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Narayan Rishi, and supermost human being unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. So we have text number 21 and canto number 2, chapter number 8. Am I right? That's where we are now. So I will read the text first. Samplavah sarvabhutanam Vikramah pratisankramah Istāpurtasya kamyanam Trivargasya chayo vidhi Samplavah sarvabhutanam Vikramah pratisankramah Istāpurtasya kamyanam Trivargasya chayo vidhi Samplavah sarvabhutanam Vikramah pratisankramah Istāpurtasya kamyanam Trivargasya chayo vidhi. Anybody wants to read? Sarvabhutanam Vikrama pratisankrama Istāpurtasya kamyanam Trivargasya chayo vidhi Samplavah sarvabhutanam Vikrama pratisankrama Istāpurtasya kamyanam Trivargasya chayo vidhi. Very good. Samplavah sarvabhutanam Vikrama pratisankrama Istāpurtasya kamyanam Trivargasya chayo vidhi. Samplavah sarvabhutanam Viplava Prankrama Istāpurtasya kamyanam Trivargasya chayo vidhi Samplavah sarvabhutanam Vikrama pratisankrama Istāpurtasya kamyanam Trivargasya chayo vidhi Samplavah sarvabhutanam Vikrama pratisankrama Istāpurtasya kamyanam Trivargasya chayo vidhi. You done? All right. Samplavaha, the perfect means or complete devastation.
The perfect means of complete devastation.
Sarvabhutanam, of all living beings. Vikramaha, specific power or situation. Pratisankramaha, ultimate destruction. Ishta, performance of Vedic rituals. Kamyanam, or what is it? Purtasya, pious acts in terms of religion. Kamyanam, rituals for economic development. Trivargasya, the three means of religion, economic development, and sense gratification or satisfaction. Right. Cha, also, yaha, whatsoever, vidhihi, procedure. So, translation by Srila Prabhupada. Please explain unto me how the living beings are generated, how they are maintained, and how they are annihilated. Tell me also of the advantages and disadvantages of discharging devotional service unto the Lord. What are the Vedic rituals and injunctions of supplementary Vedic rites, and what are the procedures of religion, economic development, and sense satisfaction? Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Samplavaha, in the sense of perfect means, is employed to denote the discharging of devotional service. And Pratisamplava means just the opposite, or that which destroys the progress of devotional service. One who is firmly situated in the devotional service of the Lord can very easily execute the function of conditioned life. Living the conditioned life is just like plying a boat in the middle of the ocean. One is completely at the mercy of the ocean, and at every moment there is every chance of being drowned in the ocean by slight agitation. If the atmosphere all right, the boat can ply very easily, undoubtedly. But if there is some strong fog, wind, or cloud, there is every possibility of being drowned in the ocean. No one can control the whims of the ocean, however. One may be materially well equipped. One who has crossed the oceans by ship may have sufficient experience of such dependence upon the mercy of the ocean. But one can fly over the ocean of material existence by grace of the Lord very easily, without any fear of storm or fog. It all depends on the will of the Lord. No one can help if there is some unfortunate danger in the state of conditioned life. The devotees of the Lord, however, cross the ocean of material existence without anxiety, because a pure devotee is always protected by the Lord. Bhagavad Gita 9, chapter 13 text. The Lord gives special attention to His devotees in the activities within material conditions life. That is again Bhagavad Gita chapter 9, verse number 29. Therefore, everyone should take shelter of lotus feet of the Lord and be a pure devotee of the Lord by all means. One should know, therefore, from the expert spiritual master, the advantage and disadvantage of discharging devotional service. Just as Maharaja Parikshit asked his spiritual master, Srila Shukadeva Goswami, according to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the science of devotional service, one should not eat more than what he requires to maintain body and soul together. Vegetable diets and milk are sufficient for maintenance of human body, and therefore one has no need to eat anything more to satisfy the palate. One should also not accumulate money to become puffed up in the material world. One should earn his livelihood easily and honestly, for it is better to become a coolie for an honest livelihood than to become a great man in society by hook or crook. There is no harm if one becomes the richest man in the world by honest dealings. But one should not sacrifice the honest means of livelihood simply to accumulate wealth. Such an endeavor is harmful to devotional service. One should not talk nonsense. A devotee's business is to earn the favor of the Lord. Therefore, a devotee should always glorify the Lord in His wonderful creation. A devotee should not decry the creation of the Lord, defying Him by saying that He has created a false world. The world is not false. Factually, we have to take so many things from the world. For one, our maintenance, so how we can say that the world is false? Similarly, how one can think of the Lord as being without form? How can one become formless and at the same time have all intelligence and consciousness, direct and indirect. So, there are many things for a pure devotee to learn, and he should learn them perfectly from a bona fide personality like Shukadeva Goswami. A favorable conditions for discharging devotional service are that one should be very enthusiastic in serving the Lord. The Lord, in his form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, wanted the cult of devotional service to the Lord to be preached all over the world, in every nook and corner, and therefore a pure devotee's duty is to discharge his order as far as possible. Every devotee should be very enthusiastic, not only in performing his daily rituals of devotional service, but in trying to preach the cult peacefully by following the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya. If he is not superficially successful in such an attempt, he should not be deterred from the discharge of his duty. Success or failure has no meaning for a pure devotee because he is a soldier in the field. Preaching the cult of devotional service is something like declaring war against the materialistic life. There are different kinds of materialists, such as the fruitive workers, mental speculators, the mystic jugglers, and so many others. All of them are against the existence of Godhead. They would declare that they are themselves God, although in every step and in every action they are dependent on the mercy of Lord. Therefore, a pure devotee may not associate with such gangs of atheists. A strong devotee of the Lord will not be misled by such atheistic propaganda of the non-devotees, but a neophyte devotee should be very cautious about them. A devotee should see to the right discharge of devotional service under the guidance of bona fide spiritual master and should not stick only to the formalities. Under the direction of the bona fide spiritual master, one should see how much service is being executed and not simply in the matter of rituals. A devotee should not hanker after anything, but he should be satisfied with things that may automatically come to him by the will of Lord. That should be the principle of devotional life. And all these principles are easily learned under guidance of spiritual master like Shukadeva Goswami. Maharaja Parikshit inquired from Shukadeva correctly, and one should follow his example. Maharaja Parikshit inquired about the process of creation, maintenance, and the destructions of the material world, the process of Vedic rituals and the method of executing pious activities in terms of supplementary Vedas like the Puranas and Mahabharata. As explained before, the Mahabharata is the history of ancient India, and so also are the Puranas. Pious acts are prescribed in supplementary Vedas Smritis, which specifically mention digging tanks and wells for the water supply of the people in general, to plant trees on the public roads, to construct public temples and places of worship of God, to establish places of charity where the poor destitute can be provided with foodstuffs. And similar activities are called purta. Similarly, the process of fulfilling the natural desires for sense gratification was also inquired about by the king for the benefit of all concerned. So this is a very beautiful verse here, and I see the purport, very, very long purport he has given. Now, looking at this, actually, it's good that Prabhupada is giving us some guidance, but these are all questions. Have you noted how many questions he had asked so far? This is the 61st question. In this chapter is asking 64 questions altogether. This is more like a test paper or examination rather than just the information or, So this is almost more than a 60 question you already asked. And after asking 64 questions, he is not done. He says, well, Shukadeva Goswami, wait a minute. If I am forgetting something, please answer that also. So this is the position. That is like, when you apply for a job or anything and they interview. Similarly, Shukadeva Goswami was presented with these questions. And if you note down this, make an index, and if you realize that this whole Bhagavatam, all this Bhagavatam that behind me, right, 12 cantos, this will become an index, because there is nothing out of this in the Bhagavatam. Whatever he asked, Shukadeva Goswami answered, and that became the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So this is a very beautiful verse. Now, we have some scriptures that may also help us, and that is one of them is we should not be eating so much, we should not be sleeping so much, and all that kind of thing. So I just took this particular verse from Nectar of Instructions. Vacho vegam manasakrodha vegam jivva vegam udar upastha vegam etana vegan yo visheti dhira sarvam apiyam prithvim sa shishyata. A sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger and the urges of the tongue, belly and genital, is qualified to make disciples all over the world. So this is what it is, that we should be controlling our senses to become a better devotee. That's what it is. Now, here, another thing is, people are warned, or devotees are warned about non-devotees, and we should stay away from them, because that may affect by association our standard of living and everything else. So here is a word, generated, how they are maintained and how they are annihilated. So generated is, if you take a G from generation, and then maintenance, operational facilities or department, and take O from there, and the annihilation is nothing but death or destructions or demolition, whatever you call, everything starts with D. So you take G-O-D, that makes God. And so whenever the person is talking about, they call it surgeon, visarjan, and portion. When these three things are talked about, you have to understand that the answer should be Krishna, because he is the one who is generating, he is maintaining, and he is dissolving everything, right? So this is a very beautiful way to learn the word God. Few years back, I was not, like I started with $2 an hour or some that kind of job, and I have to maintain myself, like even the rent and the food and even the sandwich or the subway and everything, if you put together, you can't make it. So I said, okay, let me become a priest. So I started performing weddings. But there is also a competition, and so many senior people were there. So I was not getting much response. You have to know. People has to know you also. And you have to prove that you are a good priest. So one day I received a phone call. And he says, Panditji, I need your help. I said, oh, sure, why not? I was very desperate. And he talked about it, and he says he's a musician, and from some kind of island or something like that, very famous musician. And he says, in my group there is an Indian girl, and she loves me and she wants to marry me. But she says, you have to go through this Hindu wedding. He said, I'm the one, that's it. You're in good hands. So I was trying to trap him somehow, I want to get it so badly. But he said, Panditji, it's some problem. I said, what problem? No problem. He said, no, there is some, he says. You want to tell you? He said, yes. He said, I'm a founder of Godless Society. So, there should not be any mention of God. What happens that like marriages are done in hotels and wherever, out of home. So you have to create little altar like this. You put Krishna and Tulsi and this and that. And then in presence you put this fire sacrifice, kund and all that, swaha, swaha, let them go around. And they are pronounced and married. So I said, well, so he said, no, nothing of them. No picture of Krishna, or you can't even talk about Krishna. You cannot invoke anything, no mantras, shlokas. You can't even say the word God. I don't want any G-O-D there, So I said, okay. No, I didn't have a choice because I wanted to do something. I felt guilty and I thought this is the most dangerous offense I may be doing by eliminating Krishna altogether in the ceremony, But I say, yes, I'll come. So they pay me, and I took a train and I went to that place. And this was a beautiful place I ever seen. It's a Philadelphia museum. And it's a beautiful structure. And then there's a courtyard. And what they do, that they rent that courtyard for the ceremonies. So this ceremony was supposed to be there. And then, I don't know what to do, and so I thought maybe, let me take this groom as a man and the bride as a woman and talk about man and woman and their relationship and, how that relationship develops the love for each other, and then they decide to marry and how serious that commitment is, and I don't know how, how to present it, but I was talking and people were listening. They were not much into the ritual because they were waiting for the drinks and party and all that, So I cut it short, and then I said, now it's time for ring exchange. So they said, yes, Panditji, ring is coming. And everybody somehow, except me, I didn't know. It was a big surprise for me. And that's why I'm telling you in the class. So everybody was looking at the end of the aisle. And I saw a little dog, which was about 6 inches tall, like that, little bit. But he was walking like a lion like that, He was trained, he must be trained, And then he was carrying on the neck, with the necklace, the ring. So he was a ring bearer. And his name was Michael. So everywhere there was the word Michael. And I was looking for Michael, You don't care for dog anymore, right? So, but I didn't see any Michael. I just saw the dog. And then he whispered that he's our ring bearer. And as soon as they explained me the dog is a ring bearer, I was shocked. And the microphone just like this and this, very close. And I say, oh my, I was going to say, oh my God, because that's we always speak, right? And then everybody was waiting for me to speak God word, so that they had warned me that if you say the word God, we will not pay you. So I didn't stop somehow. I don't know what was the reflection of my brain or my mind or in my heart or my tongue, but there was a break. And I said, oh my dog. And everybody got up and clapping and chanting, They were so they thought I'm one of them, And they celebrated that for a while, and the dog came and they gave me the ring. And believe me, I took the rings to give to this couple, and I look up in the sky. It was open to sky, the courtyard, and with a lot of emotions, with almost tears in my eyes and choked up voice, I was looking at the sky and I say, you showed up anyway in form of a DOG. So normally when I invoke Om Satyena Indra, all that kind of thing, when you do, Krishna comes there, right? There is the altar and the Krishnayanam Swaha, Swaha, Krishnayanam Swaha, all that. Krishna is all the time there in form of GOD. But today, when I try to eliminate, you came in form of a DOG. And people, even before they were, very excited, this time they got more excited when this, because 50% were Indian, and all they wanted to see that how I take that challenge and how I twist the program, eliminating God altogether, eliminating all the mantras and Hindu ceremony altogether. So they were really impressed. And then once they exchanged the rings, I pronounced them married, and a couple came to me and he says, Panditji, you are very, very funny. We love the ceremony. You are great. You should be a comedian. I say, yes, I am. So this is the society, and that's why at the back page they warn us that stay away. But I didn't have a choice. But also Prabhupada says that, you should know them, their scriptures, their religion, their customs and everything. And then when you talk to them, if you can speak their language and from their scriptures, it will benefit you. Because they don't, if I want to say, ahimsa paramo dharma, even we don't understand what is ahimsa paramo dharma, right? That's about non-violence. But if you want to talk to them about non-violence, you should take out this 10 commandments and say, thou shalt not kill. And they say, oh my God, this guy knows the 10 commandments, right? And they say, do you eat fish? You eat meat? So then they say, then you are not following your religion. If I say something from our religion, they say, we are not supposed to follow your religion. But I say, we are not talking about our religion, this is your religion. So this is another thing. Now, sei Purusha Sthiti pralayera karta, nana avatar kare jagatera bharta. This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. We have right behind us. And every night I am speaking at least 1 hour and try to convince people to get this set of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So I came across this particular, what you call, verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita. And it's that Purusha is the performer of creation, maintenance and destructions. That Purusha, Krishna himself is that. So that's what we were discussing. And I just said about that event, eliminating Krishna in Bhāgavatam, it says, Yatha Vasu Tatha Tamaha. What it means that Krishna says, there is nothing besides me, and there should not be anything without me. Because if there is anything, that is nothing but illusion. It is like seeing a reflection of real light in a shadow. Seeing a reflection of real light in a shadow. Because if there is a real light, there is no shadow, and if there is a real light, there is no any reflection either. So when it comes to light, there is no reflection or there is no any shadow. So it's all the misconception or illusion that you are looking at and experiencing. But otherwise it's all Krishna. But sometimes something you may experience, you may see, you may talk about or hear about. Krishnadas Kaviraj, he says that don't worry about all that, he says. It's all possible. He says, Sakala Sambhave Krishne Kichu Mithya Nahe, means everything is possible in Krishna. There is nothing impossible. So he says, even if you twist something here and there, that's also Krishna. The nectar is a Krishna and the poison also is a Krishna, he says. So that's what it is. So like we're talking about this light and darkness, that when there is a light, there is no darkness. Magñānatimirandasya gnānāñjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitandeyam tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Right? We always pray there. So the darkness was complaining to the authority that anybody can talk to sun. So yeah, the higher authority says, we can talk to sun. So they went to sun and they say, well, we have some complaint from darkness. So sun says, show me the darkness. And up till now, up to today, they could not bring the darkness before sun, because it's so effulgent that as soon as the sun rises, all the darkness dissipates. It's not even existing anywhere. So this is a situation with all this. Now, did we go through every? Yeah. Here, I have Kamad, Dveshad, Bhayad, Snehat, Yatha, Bhakteshwari Manaham. So there are 4 ways that the Krishna people are trying to achieve. Kamad means they have some desire to enjoy out of lust. Then Dveshad, they don't love but they hate. And then Bhayat means out of fear, just like Hiranyakashipu had a fear that Vishnu may come and kill him at any time. And Snehat means out of love. Yatha Bhakteshwari Manaha. So these are the any way you approach Krishna, the ultimate goal of this life is to achieve and go back to Godhead. What happens that I was just watching the last video of Bhakticharu Maharaj, his lecture, and he mentioned that 2 people came to see him. One was Śrīmad-Narayan, who was the ex-governor of Madras, and another one was Mr. Bajaj. Both are very rich people. They came to see Srila Prabhupada and he said, Prabhupada, how can we serve you? Prabhupada says, I have never gone to Rishikesh. So he said, no problem, Prabhupada. So right away they booked the tickets and Prabhupada sent to Rishikesh. and somebody, some very rich person had a bungalow house, and in his backyard this Ganges is flowing, private beach. So they had a very nice time. The 4 people went, the Malakrishna Maharaj, Bhakti Charu Maharaj, Upendra Das, and Srila Prabhupada. And they would spend the whole day there, and a very, very wonderful time. Then at the last day, Prabhupada called Bhakti Charu Maharaj and he says, it's time for me to leave the body. And Bhakti Charu Maharaj was shocked. He says, no, don't say that, Prabhupada. Why? He said, I'm not feeling good. And I know this time nobody can save me. He said, no, Krishna will save you. And then they say, what can we do for you? He said, I don't want to die here. Take me to Vrindavan. So they took him to Vrindavan. And when they went to Vrindavan, Prabhupada says, there is a Banwari Kaviraj in the market. Go, look for him, find him, mention my name, and tell him I am very sick, I am dying. So the Kaviraj came and treated him. And then he asked Bhakti Charu Maharaj that, I have these leaves that I make the medication from. So I give you this, and you cut it and paste it, make it, whatever way procedure is to make the medication. Bhakti Charu Maharaj used to make it and give it to Prabhupada, and he felt very good. And then he says, okay, let's go. Bhakti Charu Maharaj said, look, let's go where? He said, I want to go to London, then I want to go to New York, then let's go to Los Angeles, and he planned the whole world trip. He said, Prabhupada, you said, you're going to leave your body, you are very sick. He said, no, I have to preach. So this is the situation of a pure devotee, right? We had a devotee living upstairs, and it was like a 2-seated room, probably 2-seated room. You live in individual rooms or 2-seated rooms, sometimes more than one, right? So, yeah.
6 last night.
So what happened that this was like a 2-seated room, and his partner was a cook. And I came to offer, like every night I used to take a bath and then change, put tilak and everything, come down. And this person who used to bring the plate for offering Sandhya Arati, he came and he says, my partner passed away. I said, no kidding, what are you talking? Yeah, he was in treatment, under the treatment anyway. But he said, I talked to him this morning, 10 o'clock. So I said, may I ask you what you were talking, unless it's a personal. So he says, no, he was asking me that if I know anybody in Vrindavan, any real estate, who can sell me a piece of land. He says, I got money, and let's find out if he's willing to sell any land, so that, he had plans. 10 o'clock is talking about buying a land in Vrindavan. 4 o'clock in the afternoon is leaving his body, and 6 o'clock I come to know that he has passed away. These are the life of devotee. So why I am telling you in middle of the lecture like this? Because his one word that Parikshit Raja is changing. Here is the word is Trivargasya. Trivarga. If you have a car or I have a car or go out in the car, it has 4 wheels. So real word is Chaturvarga. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha is always 4 of them, Chaturvarga. Here the word is changed to Trivarga. If you want to go and change the tires or buy the tire, set of tires, they got 2 from front, 2 in the back, it comes in a set of 4. You're right, nobody will sell you 3, it comes in a set of 4, buy it. So here he changed the word Trivarga. And most surprising thing is, he is only talking about Dharma, Artha and Kama. The person is going to die in 7 days. what he has to do about dharma. He retired. He says, this is not my palace, these are not my family, nothing belongs to me, no treasury, nothing, He gave up his dharma, sarva dharmana parityajya. But he's still talking about dharma, and he's asking about dharma. Earth, what is going to do with the money? He doesn't drink a drop of water even, or not even a morsel of grain. And he's talking about earth. And then Kama. He's all renounced and is sitting at the lotus feet of Shukadeva Maharaj and is talking about Kama. Isn't it surprising? And the reason I am bothered that instead of Chaturvarga, he made it 3 Varga. Talks about Dharma, Arth and Kam, which he doesn't need. And he eliminates moksha, which he should be talking because he's going to leave the body right away, right? But he's not including moksha at all. He doesn't want to talk about moksha at all. He doesn't want to talk about death at all. So why is talking about Dharma, Artha, Kama? And Prabhupada is so merciful. I say it's unbelievable, unbelievable. I never expected, because I was disturbed with this and I kept reading and I thought maybe, Prabhupada will explain. But Prabhupada took care. When I was reading the last line, it says, right? He says, he talked about Dharma, Artha, Kama. Why? For the benefit of all concerned. I am concerned, you are concerned, he is concerned, she is concerned. The whole world is concerned about Dharma, Artha, Kama. That's why he is talking about this. Even though he knows he has to leave the body. What is going to gain out of knowing about Dharma, Artha, Kama, right? So this is the situation of the body, that of the devotee and pure devotee, that they don't even want to talk about death or moksha, Dharma, Artha, Kama, moksha. Out of that they just eliminate. Whether they get the Saivya Mukti or Sartra Mukti or whatever Mukti, liberation they are getting, they are not interested. All they want is going back to Godhead and serve Lord Sri Krishna, just like they are serving as a devotee in the temple or anywhere. That's why last couple of days that I have been doing these lectures, I came across one thing which is always in my mind. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in Sharanagati, he says, Manas deho geho jo kichu mor arpilu tu apade nand kishore. Maro bira kobi jo ichha tohara, Maro bira kobi jo ichha tohara, Nitya das prati tu adhikara, Nitya das prati tu adhikara, manas deho geho jo kichu mor arpilu tu apad nand kishore. He says, slay me or protect me, right? Whether I live or die, whatever you want to do, whatever you wish, for you are the master of your eternal servant. I am in your hands. Now you keep me as your devotee, allow me to serve you, or kill me. You are my boss. That's it. So thank you very much. You guys are great. See the non-stop service right here. 500 books you packed up already. You're going to go?
We're going to go.
Can I go with you?
Yeah, come.
You sure?
Yes, we'll be in the park too.
But you may have to take some permission, right? Rama Rao or somebody.
Rikita,
Hmm?
we welcome you with open arms. Come.
Yeah? Let's go. How are you, Prabhu? Is it okay?
Yeah.
Anybody can join?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Where are you going?
Washington Square.
Washington Square. Yeah, that's where the Rath Yatra is,
Yeah.
right?
It's nice. And
So that's a very familiar spot.
yeah.
And you were on TV one time,
Yeah.
right? There was some kind of parade or something, and then everything converted into Hare Krishna. Huh?
Biden election. We were doing.
Yeah. Very nice, very nice. What time you leave?
We leave here at 2.
2?
We take the subway.
No, because I got to be here at 4 o'clock because I have to pravachan at 5 o'clock, so 4:30, something like that. Anyway, but this is a thing, and let me postate about your activities. I thought you were going to leave right after breakfast or anything. No?
If you want, Prabhu, I'll go out. We can go out.
No, I want to go.
We can go to Barclays Center over here.
Oh, we're doing walk over here?
Yeah.
I can chant Hare Krishna, but I can't play anything, that's it. At the most, I can play kartal, but nothing else. That's okay? Hmm?
That's okay.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Thanks for